Craving sophistication? Introducing the newest lifestyle app on Roku. Dive into reviews, behind-the-scenes craftsmanship, and the secrets of aficionados. This isn't just an app, it's an experience. Download the app now on the Roku store.
Cigars are more than tobacco. They're tradition, craft, and community. Every person in this industry has a story, and every story deserves to be told. This is Uncut, the full, unfiltered conversations with the people behind the cigars you know and love. From brand owners and blenders to reps and lounge owners, we sit down to hear their journey in their own words. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on socials at CigarTV. And remember, cigar culture never stops. For news, updates, full episodes, and how to watch, visit CigarTV.com. Stay smoky. I'm enjoying the cigar very much right now. It's mellow, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's would you say it's a medium body? It's almost a medium body, that darker Ecuadorian shade.
It's like a low to medium body, but it's got like a lot of flavor to it.
Absolutely.
So you don't have that nicotine dizziness, which is good for new smokers, or if you're smoking 5 or 6 playing golf, 18 rounds, holes.
Yeah.
I don't golf.
Me either.
But if you play 18 holes, you're gonna go through a bunch of cigars, especially the more you drink. So if you have a high nicotine cigar, by the end, you could be pretty woozy.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there before and it was not enjoyable. But
No.
This right here is. Well, I'm excited to learn a little bit about you. Let's start pre-cigar journey. Talk to me about, where you're from, what you used to do, all the above.
Ooh, that's a long story because I've done a lot.
Okay.
But I pretty much started in the military out of high school. I was born and raised in Miami. Started in the military. Went the special warfare route, which in the Navy there's 2 branches. There's the SEALs and there's SWCC. I did SWCC, which is the jet boats.
Wow.
So yeah, they're like multi-million-dollar jet skis with guns on them. So they're pretty cool.
Keep going. Talk to me about, you mentioned earlier that you were overseas.
Yeah.
And cigars. They would send cigars to you guys.
Yes.
And you would smoke them then, and maybe that was part of why you fell in love with the industry. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so not when I was in the military, because they were very in uniform, very anti-tobacco at the time. But when I was contracting, I was doing security for a spook base. So it was all Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, CIA, FBI, crazy stuff going on. So they couldn't use third country nationals to do security there. So I was doing security. That was my first contracting job, and it was 12 hours in a tower just watching, making sure nobody broke into the area. And one guy got a shipment of donated cigars. I don't know if Cigars for Warriors was around back then, but it's similar. It was back in 2010. But yeah, so he got I had already been smoking cigars at that time, but I was more 1 or 2 a month maybe, and then that's when I got into 2 or 3 a night, because I was on night watch. So we'd just sit there shooting the shit, smoking cigars, and people donated a lot of Gurkhas, which was cool back then because all their bands looked like terrorists, and I was we're in Iraq, so it made sense. It was cool.
Awesome. Well, talk to me transitioning out of the Navy, out of the military.
Yeah.
You're here now working for Zino, but you worked for other companies before. So talk to me about the transition from military to cigar industry.
So I had my own media company, and it was doing really well. I started in photography, expanded to video, and I was doing weddings, but I was also doing marketing for large hotel chains and restaurant chains. And I had 1 cigar client, and then in 2020, the pandemic came and it wiped out events, hotels, and restaurants. So the only client I had that was open was that 1 cigar company. So I was already a big fan of cigars. So I was like, hey, I'm all in. And I pitched a whole project to that company. It was Perdomo Cigars. And I was like, here's why you should do a YouTube. And they're like, no, for 6 months. And I finally convinced them. I put together a full sales presentation with projections and ROI and all that stuff. And they're finally like, okay, let's do this. And we blew up their channel. We were doing 1 million views a month within 6 months of starting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in the cigar world, especially when they what's the word? When tobacco, what's the correct word?
Controlled substance.
Well, yeah, it's tobacco. Everybody's regulate all tobacco content. Talk to me about how you broke through those barriers to get 1 million views a month.
Well, 2020 was it was the perfect storm to get into it, because you had way less cigar content. You had way less content makers, period. Then you all of a sudden you have all these people sitting at home consuming more cigars and consuming more YouTube at the same time. So it was the perfect storm. We had the highest quality channel at the time, so it took off. You know, Nick Perdomo's great on camera. I was doing all the script writing, research, production, editing, distribution. So between all that, it just worked, and that was before YouTube came down on Cigar Oasis, or Cigar Odyssey, and that was maybe a year or two before. So after that, it became really hard to do YouTube. But after we got finished working with Perdomo, we started our own YouTube channel, and we still got monetized when everyone else is getting like kicked off, because if you follow the rules, they don't mess with you.
Right. Absolutely. Well, talk to me about that. Working with Perdomo, doing kind of, I don't want to say everything by yourself, but you were doing the editing, the production, script writing, all that stuff, research, all that's yourself, and now you're here working for Zino.
Yes.
Talk to me about that transition.
So I was doing pretty well. You know, I did my own YouTube channel. We picked up a couple clients, Drew Estate, Aganorsa. We did the NFT launch for Smoke In with Tatuaje. So we're doing some good stuff. But I met Jack Hare when I was working with Drew Estate, and we made some of the best videos in the industry, and him and I just had really good synergy. I was like, I want to be best friends with this guy. So he got hired by Davidoff as a brand ambassador. I was like, that's a job? They pretty much pay you to smoke cigars? He's like, yeah, it's awesome. I was like, if that ever opens up there, let me know, because I will leave my company to do that. And it was about a year later, he hit me up. He's like, hey, we got an opening for this new brand called Zino. So I was like, I'm in. I applied. They're very tough on the hiring process, because this brand is super important to HQ in Switzerland. They're like, this is our new baby. Like, they treat it just like Davidoff. Like, it means a lot to them. So I had to go through a lot more interviews than Jack did, and finally got it, and it's been even better than I thought it could be.
Absolutely.
Doesn't even feel like a job.
Right. Well, before we dive into your experience now working with Zino, I want to talk about the European market.
Yes.
Because a lot of people here, they're seeing these New World cigars come out. People don't really ask about Cubans as much anymore.
Yeah.
But there's a whole world out there that's not the United States.
Right.
Sometimes we're here and we just think we're it, right? But there's a whole nother, there's the whole world. So talk to me about the European market and what Zino, Davidoff, Camacho, what you guys do.
So the European market's insane. Like, there's so much regulation. So we have this like spreadsheet that shows like all the regulations, and there's just like peppered with red everywhere, except America, it's like all green. It's like we have no rules compared to Europe, pretty much. So it's extremely difficult to market cigars there. Plus, with their taxes, in pretty much like in Europe, it's all Cubans and Davidoff. Like that, those are 90% of the cigars sold in Europe, besides cigarillos. So with that, like after taxes, you could be looking at $50 to $100 per cigar. So Davidoff is like, let's make the Zino Nicaragua. It's a very high quality, great cigar, but let's make it a lot cheaper. So after taxes, it's affordable. So they did it as a gift to the European market, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love how you guys cover every single economical price point, right? You got this at $9, right?
Actually, this one retails about $7.50.
Get out of town.
$7.50, yeah.
Come on, man.
And
I know I would save a lot of money smoking Zino.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into your experience with Zino now. You said 6 months, right?
6 months, yes.
6 months. Talk about what this 6 months has been like for you and some of the things you've gone through, good and bad.
I started with the company. They got this van. So like within a week of being there, like, hey, we're flying to Denver to see this, thing that we built. So week one, they all got me drunk the whole week. Pretty much didn't sleep. We drank till like 4 in the morning. Showed up at like 7 to 8 a.m., ready for work every day. So by week two, I was deathly sick, and now I'm flying to Denver to see this experience that they had built. So that was rough. Rough start, and they were all fine. They could do it. Like I said, they're all savages.
Yeah.
In the best way. So, and then a couple weeks later, I flew back, grabbed the truck and trailer, drove it down to Tampa. First time ever driving with a trailer. They didn't care about that qualification. They're like, are you good on camera? Are you good with people? That's all we care about. So it turns out 90% of my job is driving. But picked it up. We planned out the tour. It's pretty much like, here's all the big cigar festivals, pepper like cigar shops in between that, and it was brutal. So yeah, so we peppered events between the big cigar festivals and beer festivals, and we would go to local shops and throw events there. And the first month it was brutal. They booked me 16 events in 20 days, and it was just, trial by fire, man. Like I'd never had to turn the trailer around yet. Now I'm having to parallel park it in like downtown Memphis, like inches away from the trolley. Finding out where to park it, like that was, the logistics were a nightmare. I couldn't pick any high-end hotels or anything in downtown areas. I always had to be on the outskirts of town where they had a parking lot. But people loved it. It was, the trailer is very innovative. Nobody's doing anything like it in the industry, and it makes a huge impact when we go to cigar lounges. Like, we started in August, terrible time to start, and it was like 120 degrees out, and people are coming out, and I'm drenched in sweat, and they're like, this is awesome. Tell me about this cigar. I want to know more about it because of this setup. Okay. And it brought a lot of goodwill to the lounge, because now the lounge has an event that no one else has done before. So we're always trying to make everyone happy. Make the consumer happy, make the lounges happy. And we've been doing it.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier Davidoff being the standard, and Zino and Camacho, right? They're all together.
Yeah.
I love innovation in the cigar industry. What we're trying to do here with CigarTV and Celebrity Cigars, I love the innovation factor. How has, you think, Davidoff continually innovated throughout the years and staying at that standard, being up top?
Well, luckily Davidoff started a long time ago, so they have time on their side, and that's what makes one of the biggest differences with them. So like on the Davidoff Millennium, the wrapper on that cigar took 20 years to cultivate. They grew it in a region in the Dominican Republic that everyone's like, you cannot grow tobacco here, it doesn't work. And they did 300 different iterations of plants there, and they went with the 151st one. And that wrapper tastes like nothing I've ever tasted in the whole industry. That, and they age everything properly. There's ways where you can speed up production, because time is money. And with Davidoff, they have money, so they have time. So even with our, value brand cigars, you can see the construction on this, like it's like a mascara line.
Mine just fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the ash is perfect, the burn line's perfect, and it's every single one of these is just like that because they take their time with everything.
Yeah, I love how I can see every puff I've taken, you can see it in the ash. It tells a story. Well, talking about flavor and palate, you're a cigar lover. I'm sure you smoked thousands of cigars. Working with a brand specifically, how do you, especially with one blend, how do you constantly, what's it called? Work on your palate,
like
grow your palate.
Evolve your senses?
Yes.
So there's two things that help me out a lot. A friend of mine said that when he would cook in the kitchen, or when his wife was cooking in the kitchen, he would grab the spices and just really get in there and close his eyes, let his brain take over, and just record it pretty much. So that helped me a lot in recognizing different spice notes and different flavors. And the other thing is, if you actually sit down and do your own cigar review, like I have a really nice cigar journal, if you sit there and concentrate and do that, you start to notice these nuances in the cigars, and eventually those nuances become like fully developed flavors. So when I did a video on my YouTube channel that was about, I don't believe any of these reviewers actually taste these things, it's insane. Like Cigar Dojo was like, I taste tomato soup in the Melanio Series V. And I was just like, I don't think it's, and then it was like a month later when I started tasting my first like crazy flavors and things, and I was like, oh, I gotta make another video, because they can really taste these things. Like if you just work on it, you can really get the nuances.
Yeah. When our tobacconist, they're talking about earth notes, and I think he says, what does he say, gnome or loam?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is loam, Like, get out of here, And then sure enough, I don't taste loam, but I get the earthiness, and I'm starting to pick up stuff. And it's just being around people who know what they're talking about.
Yep.
You're working for a brand that knows what they're talking about. You're surrounded around people who know what they're talking about.
Is there any mentors that have helped you, off the top of your head, that have helped push you up in this industry?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just so many people that know, you can never know everything about cigars. It's
The
impossible.
newest lifestyle app is here. Share the passion, the rituals, and the stories that bind us. From rare blends to legendary lounges, this is where the bonds thrive. Join us and add the app now on the Roku store.
It's impossible. It's like wines. Like nobody knows everything there is to know because it starts with the soil, then the seed, and goes all the way through production and processing. And there's just so many thousands of steps, and there's so many millions of different kinds of blends. And then when you get into vitolas, but you know, experimenting is a lot. But when it comes to mentoring, I mean, I hung out with Terrence Riley from Aganorsa a lot. That guy is like too intelligent for this industry. You know, he's a scholar pretty much. He taught Latin. It was ridiculous. There's Steve Saka, like that guy. He's on social media all the time answering, you know, basic questions with super in-depth, like almost too long. It's like paragraphs. I don't know where he gets all the time. I think he has a time machine or he poops a lot. I don't know. He has a lot of free time to be on there. And let's see, who else is there? Dave Garofalo, he's a genius in cigars. But these are more of like the production aspects. I don't think anyone can teach you how to taste better. Actually, that's a lie. There's two companies I know of that do the coolest test that'll help you understand cigars so much, which is Aganorsa with their Fuma experience, and then we also have it with the with our Davidoff line. That experience where you get to taste each individual tobacco and then you start combining them until you smoke like the whole cigar, that'll teach you a lot about flavors and blending and just the whole process.
Absolutely. For some of our viewers who hear this and say, hey, well, I want to do the white Davidoff experience, how do they get there?
You know what? I don't know if they have a similar website to ours with all the events posted, but you know, if a cigar lounge, if your local cigar lounge carries Davidoff, you can ask them to approach us. Like we usually have these like buy-in packages where we come and do this. Like if you buy, you know, this amount of cigars, we'll come and do this special event just for your shop.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can go ask your favorite cigar lounge that carries Davidoff to request that.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about how your military background and your media background has helped you grow in the cigar industry.
Well, I don't know if the military added a lot, other than more time to smoke cigars. With this job in particular, it helped out a lot with logistics and also work ethic, because sometimes I'm working 15-hour days, and it's pretty brutal. But with the media side, like I said, you can never know enough there is to know about cigars, but when you work on the media side, you're kind of forced to learn things sometimes so you don't look like an idiot on camera. So you just keep going down these like rabbit holes of like, oh, you know, seed etymology, or you know, how to make hybrid seeds, or like there's just so much to know. But as you're doing these videos, like you've done it, where you had to write the scripts and you learn so much just from, like they say, the best way of learning is teaching. Mm-hmm. That's probably the best way to go.
Absolutely. Well, you grew up in Miami. Mm-hmm. You've been all over the country, and I'm sure out of the country as well, with Zino and doing other cigar-related stuff. Talk to me about the different cigar cultures, and maybe one cigar culture in particular from one area that you enjoy the most.
Oh man, that's been my favorite part about this job, is every lounge has its own soul pretty much. Like every single one of them is different, because the people make the lounge, the owners make the lounge. The cigars in a humidor do not make the lounge. I've seen shops with like the tiniest little humidors that carry like 3 brands, and then I've seen shops that have like every single cigar that's made in the industry. But those don't make the shop, it's the people. So there's one shop in particular in Tennessee called Scenic City Cigars. And the owners are total opposite of each other. One's the business mind, the other one's the big personality. And those guys were awesome. But the thing that really like the people in that shop were such a family that the day I did my event, they actually had the wake for a couple of their members, a husband and wife. They had just buried their daughter, and the wake was that day, and the whole shop went to the wake. and then they all came back to the shop for, just that was their family. Instead of spending the rest of the day with their actual blood family, they were with their cigar family. And that's how tight that shop was.
It speaks volumes.
It does.
It speaks volumes. And I tell this all the time, but I remember the first time I walked into a cigar lounge before I got into the cigar industry, and I walk in the humidor and I'm nervous. I'm intimidated. I don't know what to pick. I got a bunch of tattoo guys hanging out. I mean, I got tattoos now, but at the time I didn't. And I was intimidated. And I walk in there and the guy follows me and he's like, hey man, anything you need, let me know, I'll help you out. And then once we got into the industry and started shooting footage, people have helped us get into every door that we've got into. If it wasn't, give a shout out for Frank at Casa de Monte Cristo, now at the Boca location, man. We wouldn't be where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you just said, what I love so much about the cigar industry is that they're willing to help and they're willing to shout out other people, like you just did, and talk about that family aspect. And to grow in that manner, we wouldn't be where we're at without the help of others. And it speaks volume on the cigar industry.
It is, the greatest people in the world are cigar lounge smokers. And I say that specifically because some of the meanest people are online cigar people. I think as far as online people go, they're probably the nicest online people. But no, it's people in cigar lounge. I've never seen a fight in a cigar lounge before. Everyone's so welcoming. And I don't know any other industry where you can meet the manufacturer so easily. Everyone's met at least one owner of the company, and that's kind of part of the industry where you go and hang out with the consumer directly. You don't see, the owners of T-Mobile or Google or any of that just hanging out with their customers.
Right, absolutely. It's what you guys are doing, right? You guys are innovating in that aspect, right? Continually with this big van trailer that you guys roll around with. You can go online to Zino.com. You guys can find out what events you guys are going to be at, when you guys are going to be there. And if you're in the area, man, definitely stop by, come meet Law, and learn about the brand and learn about the people. But there's always a story behind the cigars, right? The cigars can be great, they could be bad, right? But the people, man, you can learn about them and it can change the whole experience.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, when I first got into the media side, our first PCA show, we didn't know anybody. And there's very few people that are we don't know you, we're not gonna let you do an interview. Almost everybody was yeah, you're brand new, come on in, let's talk cigars.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest was Pete Johnson.
Yeah.
Total sweetheart, just introduced us to other people. I mean, you would have thought we've been in the industry for 20 years the way he treated us.
All right, back to Zino. What do we have in store in the future going into 2025? What do the people have to look forward to?
Oh boy.
Let me get some tea.
So we're not allowed to talk about anything until the press release goes out.
Okay.
We're very, good about keeping our secrets to our chest. That's not the saying, whatever it is. But we have, for Davidoff, we've got 4 very special things coming out in 2021 for each quarter. For Zino, we've got a couple new things coming out. Can't really talk about them yet until the press release. Same with Camacho. We've got some cool new experiences coming. We're revamping the tour from what we learned this year to next year. We're adding things, we're taking away things, we're making it better, more efficient, more enjoyable, more interactive. So yeah, I wish I could tell you because we have some very cool things coming out, but I can't.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. PCA is around the corner. When is it? March, April?
April, yeah.
April in New Orleans. Sure, you guys will be there.
Absolutely. It's our first year back.
Okay.
We haven't been since pre-pandemic.
Will something be there for the people?
I'm sure there will be.
Okay, I like it. That's
actually, we'll be doing. I don't even know if I can talk about this, but I'm going to because it's very near and dear to my heart. We're gonna be doing a media dinner just for all the personalities on the media side, which at the show they don't get a lot of attention because everyone's trying to sell cigars. So they're oh, we gotta do an interview. We're gonna be doing a dinner especially for media just to show them that we care.
Right. Oh, well, I love that. Especially being in media, we appreciate that. Just dedicated time. And like you just said, at PCA, even at a lounge in a regular day, at nighttime, if you go in there, it gets hectic, right? And PCA gets wild.
Yes.
And to ask somebody, they normally don't say no, but hey, can I get 15 minutes of your time to get you on camera, and it can be a burden in a way. They're trying to make deals and make money. This is how these people make money. So a dinner like that, I think it's a great way for media and for you guys to get your brand out there even further than it already is.
Yeah, and we just want to do some nice things, you know, like, hey, a lot of media guys don't make money on this. This is mostly a passion project for them. So we want to show them, like, hey, you are appreciated here. This is the future of cigars. You know, it's not the magazines anymore, although those still play a huge role in it, but this is where it's heading. Just like the rest of the world. This is the future of media.
Absolutely. Let's dive in a little bit deeper on that. You know, the cigar industry for the last 50, 75 years, it's kind of been all word of mouth and magazine, and once again, it's hard to market tobacco in specific areas.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the vision and where you see the cigar industry as far as marketing is going.
I mean, I believe the consumers are most of the marketing. So if you just make a good cigar and you put it out there, like anyone that smokes cigars will be your brand ambassador pretty much. So I think that's what you have to do, is just like make the greatest cigar and make it the best experience. Like, mistakes happen in cigars, so if they do, just replace it, you know? Show that person, hey, sorry you spent your money on this, here's one that works. Absolutely. You know, because it happens, it's a handmade product. They're gonna mess up, unless they're Zino Nicaraguas.
Well, you mentioned you smoked how many? 3,300 of these, and you haven't had a burn issue yet?
Not a single one.
Talk about the quality control you guys put into these cigars.
I don't know yet. I haven't been to the factories yet, so I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to get out there. We'll see. I think early next year I'll be able to go see the Honduras factory. The Dominican factory, Davidoff has some of the greatest rollers in the world, because you can't even roll Davidoff cigars unless you have minimum 10 years experience. So they're, you know, that's a whole nother level. You know, a lot of companies, they have to bring you on and train you, and you know, and we do that. You know, we have new rollers come on, and we're actually, I believe, we're looking at starting a training academy for rollers as like a kind of an outreach, trying to get some people some jobs going in these countries.
Absolutely. So let's give some advice to our viewers. I know a lot of guys that hang out, they say, hey, I want to start a brand, or I want to be a brand ambassador, or a brand
activation manager.
And they're going to watch this and they're like, hey, how do I get in Law's position?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to him?
I would say just be real. Like, if you love cigars, you can work your way into it. Like, I have a business background, which helped a lot. I own my own business. I have a business degree. But I was super passionate about cigars, and I think that for Davidoff, that was more important to them than, you know, me being able to do this job. It was, we want somebody that loves cigars and can talk about them with passion. So if you're super passionate and nerdy, and you know, and you have a personality, which you can work on that stuff. You go to my first videos on YouTube, they were pretty terrible. They got better as time went on. So you can work on that, or like, if you're a great personality and you don't know much about cigars, become nerdy about it, you know, be passionate. And if you have those two things, you can find yourself in a position like mine. Sales jobs open up all the time. It's a tough job, but the people that, you know, we have people that have been doing it for 30 years with us. So like, if you love that side, it's a lot of travel, it's brutal, but if you love what you do, it's great.
Absolutely. So we just talked about innovation, Davidoff being vertically integrated with their tobacco rolling process, all this stuff. Then you got the economical vertically integrated, where Zino is at this $7.50, $9 range. You got Camacho right above that, Alvo right above that, Zino, Platinum, and Davidoff.
Yeah.
Constantly innovating. Talk to me about future.
So one thing that I'm starting to recognize that I don't see anyone else talking about is, just like the wine industry, I think cigars people are gonna start collecting them by vintage, right? So like, you know, they're like, oh, this you know, Pinot Noir from this region in the year 2018 was amazing, but 2019 not so good. I think that we're getting to that level of connoisseurship. Is that a word?
Yes.
Connoisseurship. I think we're getting to that level of connoisseurship that people are going to start recognizing what the better years were for certain tobaccos in certain regions. To like, oh, hey, you know, that Davidoff Millennium in 2022 was mind-blowing. I'm going to start searching for that specific box.
Absolutely. So what outlets give that give people who are gonna start becoming connoisseurs and going after certain tobaccos from certain years, what avenues are there for people to go find them?
I mean, you have your YouTubers, your podcasters, you have your media, right? But you also, if you go to the, not all cigar shops, some cigar shops, they just hire a guy to be behind the register and ring you up. But a lot of cigar shops, especially if they have like a retiree working there just for, something to do, they're usually super, super knowledgeable and just dying to give that knowledge to people. There's other stores like Corona and Neptune, like they're tobacconists, they will drop knowledge on you like nobody can, and they love doing it. They're in the cigar shop all day, they're smoking cigars all day, and they're just looking for that, that virgin mind to fill up with all this knowledge of cigars.
Absolutely. All right, as we close this thing out, if you knew 1 million people were watching this, what would you say to them?
I would say continue to support your brick and mortar, because without that, we don't have that place to congregate. Continue supporting the cigar industry. Join Cigar Rights of America and join those people that help us keep America with less regulation on cigars. They've been doing some good things. PCA also, we had that big legal win where they had to remove premium cigars from the FDA's lawsuit. So if we keep supporting the industry in that way, so we can keep enjoying this amazing hobby.
Absolutely. Last question for you. What does a cigar mean to you?
So I'm a big time social smoker. I don't like smoking alone a lot. So for me, a cigar means relaxing at the end of a day and having a great conversation. Doesn't matter if it's your best friend or a complete stranger, you're usually gonna have a great conversation.
Absolutely. Well, Law, we appreciate you coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Appreciate you talking about Zino with us, smoking a great quality product at a great price.
I appreciate that.
And we look forward to what the future holds.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on. I look forward to your future. You're doing some really good stuff here that no one else is doing.
Well, we appreciate that, and we're excited with people like yourself who are willing to come on here. We're excited to keep growing it, just like you guys have.
All day. I'll get as many people to come through as I can. You got to meet Jack Hare, the Camacho brand activation manager. He is amazing at these things. He's so good on camera, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So, Jack, you're coming here soon.
Well, thanks. My name is Sean Mobley. I'm here with Law Ream, brand activation manager for Zino Cigars. You've been watching Behind the Blend, only on CigarTV.
My name is Law Ream. I am the brand activation manager for Zino Nicaragua Cigars, and you're watching CigarTV.
Slow down and savor the moment. The newest lifestyle app is finally here. We bring the art of it all to your screen. From lounges to master blenders, we feature it all. Find the app in the Roku streaming store and start watching today.